tonight, officials are calling the shooting of the 50-year-old United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson a targeted hit. Correspondent Alexis McAdams is following this story live in New York. Hi, Alexis.
Here, this place is usually jammed, and especially for the holidays. This is the same area where a United Healthcare CEO and a dad of two who was visiting here in the Big Apple was shot and killed, and the entire thing that police are calling a targeted attack was caught on camera. Let's pull up that video for people watching at home. This is a little bit difficult to look at here, okay? It shows you what happens in real time. This is 6:45 in the morning in New York City. He's walking there in his blue suit. Here comes the gunman, opens fire, shoots him in the back, okay? We froze that video there because it is so graphic. He falls down though. The gunman shoots another 2 times. This is what investigators had to say about it. Listen.
The shooter steps onto the sidewalk from behind the car. He ignores numerous other pedestrians, approaches the victim from behind and shoots him in the back. The shooter then walks toward the victim and continues to shoot.
So United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is who was shot and killed this morning. He was a dad of 2, hailed as a stand-up guy by those who knew him, and that's the suspect you're looking at. Okay, those are brand new videos and pictures coming into our newsroom. His face was covered, so we don't know exactly who he is, but police are working to find him out. This is who was gunned down, though. He was just in town visiting from Minnesota. He had a pretty big job with United Healthcare. He was set to speak at this investors conference at the Hilton in Midtown today. He wasn't staying in this specific hotel. He was just walking across the street. He was kind of looking around. It wasn't even light outside when this guy walked up to him, and he did have a silencer, I'm told, on that handgun, pointed it right at him. And now a New York City councilman I talked to says he understands that people are going to be on edge. Listen.
Seems like it was a targeted attack. It wasn't a random attack that happened on the street, but rightfully people are concerned about the safety.
So we've got a Crime Stoppers that has put out a $10,000 reward for any information on this murder. But from talking to sources on the ground, Martha, you can tell that this guy knew what he was doing. He was out here waiting for him, and he opened fire, shot him, and killed him right here in New York City, Martha.
Absolutely shocking, tragic. Thank you very much, Alexis. With that, we bring in Ted Williams, former DC homicide detective and Fox News contributor. Ted, welcome. This is obviously a tragic day for his family. He has 2 young children, and his wife had said this, Ted, earlier today. She said, quote, "There had been some threats." She said, "I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him. I can't really give a thoughtful response right now. I just found this out, and I'm trying to console my children." I mean, this poor woman had to have been in shock, but that is a significant piece of information to begin with here, Ted.
Yes, it is, Martha, and I got to tell you, what a tragedy, but everyone is saying that it was targeted, and I am echoing the same thing. When you see the gunman, there's a lot that you learn about this gunman. First of all, you can see that he is right-handed, that he does use his left hand to support that gun. He knows what he's doing. You can tell that he's proficient in using that weapon. You can see, and I've heard that after he shot Thompson here, the gun jammed, he was able to clear that jam and continue to shoot that gun. And at some stage or another, as you know, he ran away, got on one of the e-bikes, got into Central Park, and they haven't seen him since.
Yeah. So Ted, I'm going to ask the control room to show us the full shot of his face, the shooter's face. Take that lower right photo full across the screen. Now, this is the best photo I've seen in terms of his features and the upper part of his face. It strikes me that if you know him, you're going to know him from this picture, right?
They're going to know him from the picture and perhaps from the clothes that he's wearing, although he has that backpack and he could, Martha, have changed clothes at some stage or another.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you look at his eyes and his nose here, if this is somebody that you know in your life, I think you're going to be able to identify him from this photo because you get a pretty clear shot of his nose, his forehead, and his whole area around his eyes. Ted, obviously the manhunt is underway. A family is grieving. A company has lost their leader, and this is an absolute tragedy. on the streets of New York and a manhunt underway. Ted, thank you very much for joining us
My
today.
pleasure.
Thank you, Ted. So